Welcome to the Books of Titans podcast hosted by Eric Rostad. Join him on his 15-year journey through the immortal books. He'll share what he's learning, explore profound ideas across time and cultures, and share the one thing he always hopes to remember from each immortal book.
Well, this is my 6th episode covering this year's straight read-through of the Bible. I've just finished the Writings, which is volume 3, and with that, I finished the Old Testament. And today I started the New Testament, and I'm hoping to finish that by the end of February here. So I had originally planned to read the Apocrypha between the Old and the New Testaments, but I have just simply run out of time. And when I was thinking about it yesterday, it's like, well, I can either try to finish the Bible by the end of February, or I can have this bleed into March a little bit and try to finish the Apocrypha as well. I just decided to let go of the Apocrypha for this year. Maybe I'll try to add that in again next year. I was really looking forward to it. I enjoy the Apocrypha, and I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be reading it this year, but I just, time-wise, I really want to get back into the immortal books beginning in March with reading some Greek philosophy. So that's the plan for now. And so I finished the Writings, which ends with the book of Chronicles, and I finished that last night and then started in on the New Testament today. So in this past week, I finished the book of Daniel, Ezra, Nehemiah, and the book of Chronicles. And so that's what I'll be talking about today. I just want to share a few things. This will be a rather short episode, but just I've been enjoying just sharing what has stood out to me the week before during these readings. So in Daniel, I'd finished half of Daniel last week, and so I read the second half of Daniel this week. And one of the things that I really appreciate every time I read Daniel is his prayer for the people. And we see some prayers in Ezra and Nehemiah as well. It's just kind of neat to see how these people were praying for the people that they were so that they were so interested in, or that they cared for. And so Daniel is praying, and this is so cool. He finishes his prayer, or actually while he's speaking, and this is what it says: "And while I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of the people Israel, and presenting my supplication before Yahweh my God for the holy mountain of my God, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he instructed and talked with me, and he said, 'O Daniel, I have now come forth to give you wisdom and understanding.'" And I'll stop reading there. So Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, is who this is talking about. And so while Daniel is praying, the angel Gabriel comes up to him. But I picked up on what Gabriel said to him. He said, "Oh, Daniel, I have now come forth to give you wisdom and understanding." And I thought that was so interesting, because at the very beginning of the book of Daniel, we're told that King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had brought part of the children of Israel, the royal seed, to Babylon. And then it says this, and Daniel was one of these people: "Youths in whom was no blemish, but good to look upon, and skillful in all wisdom, and endued with knowledge and understanding science, and such as had the ability to stand in the king's palace, and that he should teach them the literature and the tongue of the Chaldeans." And so here we have Gabriel saying, "I've now come forth to give you wisdom and understanding." And here we see that this was something that the king of Babylon had seen in Daniel. I just thought the connection was neat there, especially with those two words of wisdom and understanding. Those two words that show up at the beginning of Daniel there as well. In Ezra and Nehemiah, there's a part for Ezra that he had set his heart to seek the law of Yahweh and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and ordinances. I mentioned this because this stuck out in multiple times, just even in across Chronicles as well. It's not just about hearing the law, it's about doing it. And so you see this over and over. For Ezra had set his heart to seek the law of Yahweh, to seek the law of the Lord, and to do it. Not just to seek it out, but to also do it. When reading through Ezra and Nehemiah, I'm always so struck that the Persian kings allowed the Jews to return and to rebuild the temple. I'm always just kind of wondering, why were they so accommodating? How did they benefit? It says here that the Lord put it upon their hearts. That always sticks out to me. Ezra is a priest scribe. Nehemiah was the governor when they returned to Jerusalem. I want to read a part here now from Nehemiah. You have made the heavens of the heavens and all their hosts, the earth and all things that are on it, the seas and all that is in them, and you preserve them all, and the host of the heavens worship you. That stood out to me because of the heavens of the heavens. And as I started reading the New Testament today, there was, heaven was kept being plural, heavens. And so just this idea of the heavens and all their host, is kind of a bit more expansive view of heaven, with there being the heavens of the heavens. Now let's move on to another part here. This is in Chronicles, and there's an idea of this keeps showing up too. Just here's a part I want to read it. It kind of crosses pages here. When the heavens are shut up and there is no rain because they have sinned against you, if they pray towards this place and confess your name and turn from their sin when you afflict them, then may you hear from the heavens and forgive the sin of your servants and of your people Israel. And then on the next page it says, yet if they shall turn again to their heart in the land to which they have been carried captive, and turn again and make supplication to you in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned. So I'll stop reading there. So here's where, if they get carried away captive to other lands, which they do, if they turn again in their heart, God will hear them. But it's that language shows up over and over. If they turn with their heart, and I've been this is something I've been tracking as I've been reading. Just a returning. What does that look like? What does it look like for a people to return? What does it look like for an individual to return? And so I've thought this part was interesting here. In Chronicles, there's a lot of cherubim. If you've listened to the other episodes of the Bible recaps I've been doing this year, that's something I've been tracking. So the cherubims show up quite a bit in Chronicles in relation to Solomon when he rebuilds the temple. So there's obviously the cherubim on the top of the Ark of the Covenant, but then there's also cherubim that he puts as designs kind of within the temple itself. One question I had when I was reading Chronicles was, did Solomon not have a Nathan that confronted him about his many wives? You see the destruction that comes about from Solomon's many wives, and with David, he had Nathan who confronted him about his sin with Bathsheba. But Solomon, it seems, did not have someone like Nathan to confront him about his many wives and how that was leading him astray. Because surely people would have seen this and noticed what was happening, but it just kind of makes me wonder: did no one? Were things going so well that no one felt it appropriate to confront him about it? There's a part in Chronicles about the reciprocal nature of kingship, and this shows up when Rehoboam takes over from his father Solomon, and Rehoboam is asking, or some people come up to Rehoboam and ask him, can you lighten our load? And Rehoboam goes to seek counsel, and he first seeks counsel from the old men, and they say they suggest one way, and then the young men suggest another way, which is bad. He goes with the young way, and then which puts a huge burden on the people. And the people respond with this: what portion do we have in David? Neither do we have an inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to your tents, O Israel. Now see to your own house, David. The note I put next to that is the reciprocal nature of kingship. So when Rehoboam did that, they did not feel like they were his people anymore. And what portion do we have in David? Neither do we have inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to your own tent, O Israel. And this is where things split. The kingdom splits, and you see just how important it is for the king to treat the people right. And that stuck out to me. This read through. Last thing I want to highlight here is something I've been tracking, and I've mentioned this in quite a few of the episodes this year. Let me just read this part. This is also from Chronicles. And it came to pass when the kingdom of Rehoboam was established and he was strong, that he forsook the law of Yahweh and all Israel with him. And I'll stop reading there. Forsook the law of Yahweh and then all Israel with him. I've mentioned this a lot, just how it's really struck me how as goes the king, so goes the kingdom. And I'm almost looking for individuals who go against the system, and there's just not many. And it really seems like however the king went and whatever the king did and decided, that's how, it's just amazing to me how that is then how the society went. And it just seems like it's really hard to go against that. And I guess for examples of people who do go against it, you would have the prophets, and we do see some people, but again, it just kind of a big theme in my reading this year of how important the direction of leadership is and how that impacts so many people, and I guess even how hard it is for people to get out of a certain track if leadership is going in one track. So that's it for this week on what stuck out. I'll be back next week then with going through the New Testament. So a few things here with removing the Apocrypha. There are now 2,271 total pages of the Bible this year. I've read 1,705 of them. So I need to read 63 pages per day to finish between now, which I'm recording this February 19th, and February 28th. So I did this, I read the exact same version of the New Testament in 2023, and I read it between February 18th and 28th. So this year, I have one less day, but I think I can make it. I'm going to try to make it at least. And so that's what I'm going for. For the writings of the third volume, which contained things like the Psalms, Chronicles, Proverbs, Song of Solomon. That took me 15 hours and 10 minutes to read, and I read it between February 3rd and February 18th. This is the one where I got just busy. I got sick, just a lot of stuff going on. So I didn't read through that one as quickly as I had hoped, especially in wanting to get through the Apocrypha as well. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I'd love to hear from you if anything stuck out or if you want to share anything. You can email me at eric@booksoftitans.com. You can also check out Books of Titans on Instagram or Twitter, just at Books of Titans, and also check out the website, booksoftitans.com. I'll be back next week to talk about what stuck out to me in the New Testament. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep reading. I'm out.